And welcome everyone who may be watching and also listening on the Bear. This is Al here with the Pit Society podcast, live for the next hour or so here on Tuesday evening, streaming live on the Bear radio and also video streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and what have you. If you are watching the show today rather than listening, you can also jump in and join the show. I've just posted a comment in all the areas, which is apparently then not worked on YouTube, but never mind. On all the others, it's worked. So come and click that if you want to jump in and join the show. If you have anything to say about anything that we mention on the show today, we will gladly get you involved. So this is episode 56 of the Dead Pit Society podcast, the podcast that looks at the weirdest news stories from the last 7 days, and sometimes play some games as well. And I've got a game I've worked out a way to I can play Darren today and get involved myself in that. Normally I'm picking two other people against each other. It's only me and Darren here at the moment, so I have two versions just in case there was someone else coming, and one if there's not.
It's a nice, nice cozy affair, just the two of us today.
It is indeed. And for those who aren't familiar with us, I am
Albert Galpin.
A bit quiet. And this is
Darren Saunders.
Also relatively quiet. Help if I get everything turned up well, wouldn't it? Oh well. Yes, I'm Al. This is Darren. We are here for the Dead Pit Society, as I say. And how are you today, mate? You all right?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing yeah. I don't have anything more coherent to add to that. he's doing the graveyard shift on a Monday night does rather wipe out Tuesdays for me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
This is part of the issue. I after having done obviously the show before you last Monday, I then decided I wouldn't do anything last night, and there was football on, so I watched that, and I was like, should I listen to Darren for a bit? I should. I want to, but I'm also very tired.
It's probably
so I might just listen on demand later. So I still haven't actually. I got stuck with doing something today at work, so
it didn't go very well. But these things are all on the learning curve. It's fine.
Absolutely. This is only our second of these shows on the radio. We've only been going just over a week now, so it's okay. We're still learning. I mean, this podcast has been going 5 years, and I'm still messing things up and still learning. So
yeah,
there may be hope for me one day.
What I did manage to do was I recorded most of the show last night because I forgot to press record until halfway through the second song. Because and that pretty much set out the stall from the get-go. But what I was able to do was edit it in such a way that I took out at least 6 major cock-ups. So I'm willing to accept that.
I did the show I did on Sunday. I did a country music show on Sunday,
and I had
decided that I was going to record it Sunday lunchtime during Hunter's nap, so that I could then watch TV and spend time with the wife in the evening when it actually went out. So I did it, and I recorded it as live. And I did make a couple of cock-ups, and I was like, should I go back and edit and take those out? And in the end, I was like, nah, screw it.
Are you lazy or are you a purist?
A little bit of both. Because by the time I had finished recording it, Hunter was up again and wanting to play, and I had promised him that I would do something with him on the PlayStation.
Indeed.
So there's for anyone who's got a PS4 and has got the camera, there's the little game where you can put little robots and make it look like they're in your living room. You know, the camera, your living room comes up on the TV, and they come out with a controller, and you can use the controller to suck them up again. And Hunter loves it. He loves just flicking them out of the controller and then sucking them all up again.
That sounds like the kind of thing I'd have loved when I was a kid. But sadly, we didn't have that.
No, we didn't. And
we only
had
had
as well is
hoops and sticks when we were a kid.
Oh yeah, a ball if you were lucky. And yeah, it's got a companion app. If you've got the PlayStation second screen app on your phone, when you're playing that game, that app turns into a little drawing pad, and you can draw stuff and then render it and flick it up off the screen, and it will suddenly appear on.
Oh well, that's
TV.
fancy.
Yeah, so I draw little, poo emojis.
Wasn't there There was a game on the DS years ago. Was it called? No, it wasn't called Draw Something. I can't remember. Sketch. I can't remember. But there was a game on the DS years ago where you had all these puzzles that you had to solve, and to solve them, you used the stylus to draw something on the bottom screen that would then appear in the game. And you could draw almost anything. It was bizarre. It was properly great.
Yeah, that sounds good. Right, so you and I, it's just the two of us. I have drawn cards for Shot in the Dark. So I couldn't come up with one of my fun games today. So I've drawn cards for Shot in the Dark. This one I won't play because I've actually looked at the answers, but I pulled another one out and I've not looked at the answers on this one so that you and I can play against each other.
I will beat you.
So the aim of this game is these are questions that you are unlikely to know the answer to, but they are mostly numerical answers. So basically we have to make a guess, educated guess, Shot in the Dark, as the name of the game suggests, and whoever's closest gets the point. So 5 questions, winner picks story of the week when we read our news stories this week. So question number 1 is, how many people alive today are estimated to be directly descended from Genghis Khan?
3.4 billion.
Oh, 3.4 billion. That's high.
That's half of the population.
It's half the population of the world. I'm not quite sure it'll be that many. I'm gonna go for 1 billion, I think. And I'm not looking at the answer card. Let's swipe. The answer is 16 million.
Yeah, I was close.
Your ridiculously high answer kind of made me go quite high as well. But yeah, 16 million is comparatively low in comparison to what we just said.
Plus minus 20 billion.
Yeah.
I was right there in the right ballpark. Yeah.
Number 2, what is the average speed achieved by cars driving on urban roads in the UK?
Oh, this is going to be really
Average
low.
speed
I would say
on urban roads.
9 mile an hour.
Ooh, I was going to say 12 was the number that popped into my head.
Mm.
So let's see if I can, without revealing too many answers. The answer is 18.5.
Oh, that clearly isn't in Southampton.
Again. No, yes. Average across the UK, there must be some very quiet urban roads that gets
average.
Below average. Absolutely. Number 3, in New Zealand, how many sheep are there per person? I have a feeling I remember something like this. I'm going to say 3.
Sorry, I missed the question. Everything broke up completely for a second there.
In New Zealand, how many sheep are there per person?
Oh, yeah. 4.
You're going for 4. Oh, you are closer because the answer is 10.
Huh. That's a lot of sheep. What do they do with them all? Primarily slaughter them for meat, I would imagine.
Yeah, slaughter them for meat. Absolutely. So that is 2-1, I think, basically, after 3 questions to me. Number 4, what percentage of emails are deleted before they're opened? If it's me, it's quite high.
Wow. I would say 20. But it's only low because I'm basing that on my activity whereby I just don't open them.
Well, you just leave them undeleted.
Yeah, well, no, I've got like 700 unread emails on my app. Yeah,
but I always see people's phone screens with like 1,000 emails in their thousands. I'm like, what are you doing?
I just turned off the button, so it doesn't show me how many emails there are. It's brilliant.
That's genius. That's probably a good idea. You said what? So you say 20?
20%.
I was thinking a bit. I'm going to go 30. That's what. And you win this one then because it is 21. 21. Very close.
Yeah.
Very close indeed.
That was a shot in the dark.
So that makes it 2-2. 2-2. They're all to play for.
All to play for. I believe that's a sporting term.
This last question. I think it is. A bit of a cliche. This is actually not a numerical answer. This is a multiple choice question. So let's see if we end up choosing the right ones here. How did the Duke of Wellington describe his soldiers? A, the best of the best. B, giants among men. C, marginally less incompetent than the French. Or D, scum of the earth.
I'm erring towards C or D.
I'm quite taken by D. I like the idea of
I'll go with C then.
So you're going with C. I'm going to go with D, and the answer is scum of the earth. D.
Hey, damn
There
you,
we go.
Galpin, in your
He
winning
says
ways.
he was complementing the French system of conscription, which ensured a fair share of all the different classes, whereas the English army had a disproportionate amount of petty criminals and the underclass. And that's why he called them scum of the earth. Which means I get to pick story of the week, which is a first. And so, for those who don't know, story of the week, basically we have 5 stories that I read the headlines for. We are going to then determine which one of those we don't like the sound of, and then we'll talk about the other 4, and then I will pick which one of those 4 becomes our story of the week. So our 5 headlines this week are: helicopter pilot finds strange monolith in remote part of Utah. Gambler sues casino after he spent £27 million in 5 days playing roulette. Investigation launched into Matrix film shoot amid claims it was actually a party. Bachelor who bought pet geese as lockdown company may have to get rid of them because they're too loud. And Florida snow park adjusts hours after misestimating snow production. I feel like misestimating is a word that I have not heard of until I always hear underestimating.
Yeah.
Or overestimate. I never heard misestimating.
Underestimate and misestimate would be 2 very different things, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I suppose it does misestimate encompass both over and under then, doesn't it? It's just one word for both.
It's just wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong. Florida snow park adjusts hours after getting it wrong.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
That's the basic version.
Anyway, which one are we going to ditch? Which one? This is a toughie this week. A toughie indeed.
I think I want to keep the geese because it's a follow-up to the story we've had previously. I am tempted to get rid of the Matrix myself.
Yeah, I think that's I've little interest in any more Matrix movies, quite frankly.
Right, well there we go then. That settles that. Well, we shall ditch that. I will close that tab from my screen. We will not read that one. So we'll go through the other 4 and we'll discuss the stories and see what you think of these people. So the first story is in The Guardian, and it is helicopter pilot finds strange monolith in remote part of Utah. And I'm going to try to bring this open for those who are watching. And you can see the story on the screen. There is a picture of said monolith. It says, a mysterious monolith has been discovered in a remote part of Utah after being spotted by state employees counting sheep from a helicopter. The structure, estimated between 10 and 12 feet, appears to be planted in the ground. It was made of some sort of metal. Its shine in sharp contrast to the enormous red rocks which surround it. Utah's Highway Patrol shared images of both the sheep and the monolith. Okay, there's some sheep. There's the helicopter pilot, Brett Hutchings, told local news channel KSL TV that's been about the strangest thing I've come across in all my years of flying. Hutchings was flying the Utah Department of Public Safety, which was helping wildlife resource officers count bighorn sheep in the south of the state. One of the biologists is the one who spotted it and just happened to fly directly over the top of it. He was like, whoa, 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 turn around. And I was like, what? And he's like, there's this thing back there and we've got to go look at it. And then I was like this. And then I was like,
is it?
Isn't it though? Hutchings said the object looked man-made and appeared to have been firmly planted in the ground, not dropped from the sky. I'm assuming it's some new wave artist or something, somebody that was big 2001 Space Odyssey fan. Monolith and its setting resembled a famous scene from the Stanley Kubrick's 1968 film in which a group of apes encounter a giant slab. The somewhat monkey-like behavior of 2 crew members dressed in sci-fi costume-like overalls found themselves compelled into climbing on each other's shoulders in an apparent effort to see over the top of the rectangular cuboid, only added to the impression. And there's some more photos of it. It says, we were kind of joking around as if one of us suddenly disappears and the rest of us make a run for it. Bighorn sheep live in some of Utah's most rugged and remote areas, it says, and survive in hostile climate conditions. Fearing amateur explorers might get stuck in the wilderness while seeking out the monolith, the flight crew have not revealed its exact location. I like how they keep flicking back and forth between sheep and monolith. Without,
the sheep are the important things here. Maybe they put it there.
Maybe that's where bighorn sheep actually come from.
Mm.
So there we go. That is the story.
The story really is TARDIS chameleon circuit breaks properly. I think that's what it is. There's a doctor, the doctor, should I say, is running around the Utah countryside trying to figure out how to get back to their TARDIS. And, the chameleon circuit's finally broken for good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an odd-looking thing. But you've got to be the question, if it is an artist who did this, they clearly didn't tell anyone. And it was just there. I wonder how long it's been there. Were they like, someone eventually will find it and think this is hilarious?
Yeah, it's art is forever. I don't understand a lot of art, which I think is part of accessing art, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't need to understand it for it to still be artistic.
Okay, yeah.
I think because I was reading something on a slight tangent. I was reading something this morning about in Calgary. They've got a big blue ring. Have you seen this? This enormous.
I can't remember. I have been to Calgary, but I don't know of any.
Well, I think it's quite recent. I think it was put up quite recently. Okay. It's this enormous blue steel ring with two lights on top of it, like a street light, but they've made it into a massive blue wheel. And this thing looks to be about 30 foot tall, 40 foot tall. It's huge. It cost $500,000. And the residents of Calgary are all like, what? They spent our money on this? And it's like, well, that's art, isn't it? You know, it's all about the discussion of the thing. And if the thing is this incongruous, shiny monolith in the middle of the Utah desert, and we're talking about it, well, we've just accessed art, haven't we? We were tricked into accessing art.
Yeah, absolutely. Or we were tricked into thinking it was art, and in fact, it's a secret recording device for the aliens,
or a TARDIS,
or it's the giant off switch for the planet.
Oh God, please let that be true. Quick, someone go and punch it. See what happens.
Someone's going to try and remove it, and then underneath it will just say "Do not remove."
Yeah, maybe there's a statue of a racist underneath
it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they've boxed in a statue of a racist. Yeah.
Those bighorn sheep are known for it. I'm telling you. Yeah, it is odd. I think, part of me would think if it's in the middle of nowhere, and it appears to be, obviously there's shots of rock, big massive rocks behind it, but the ground it's on is relatively flat. It must have taken quite an effort to get it there. However, it was put there.
Unless it's
flown in by chopper.
Unless it's only like real thin tin metal, you know, it's easy to move around. Yeah, maybe it had only been there like an hour, and the helicopter.
Yeah, you never know. You know, or maybe the helicopter put it there.
Well, I see.
We need some kind of marketing ploy to get people interested in us counting bighorn sheep.
Yeah.
So we'll put this fake monolith out there and then take pictures of it.
Yeah, that sounds
pretend we've just found it.
Yeah,
you never know. And maybe it's just the cynic in me, having done this show for a few years, seeing the types of stories that we get, and it turns out a lot of the weird stories are just a marketing ploy.
Yeah. You
never know.
Every week you seem to pick a story that is basically just an advert.
But in this case,
we don't know what for.
Yeah. advert for maybe they're releasing 2001: Space Odyssey in a new format, and it's all just part of that.
That would be the fifth time they've re-released 2001.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is story number one, as the strange monolith in Utah. The second story that we're going to talk about is this one about the gambler. Let's show you the actual story in the what's this on the Metro. Headline is Gambler sues casino after he spent 27 million in 5 days playing roulette, which is a ridiculous sum of money. It says a wealthy gambler who spent £27 million in 5 days playing roulette is suing the casino amid claims staff promised to pay him to play, but didn't cough up after he won. Croatian businessman Just Paharic finished nearly 1.5 million up at the roulette table at the Park Lane Club in Mayfair in London after staking £27 million between May 26th and 30th in 2015. But Mr. Paharic claims the only reason he risked this huge sum at the club was because he was encouraged to play there with a cashback offer on his stakes after being singled out as a super wealthy, valuable player. He says he is contractually entitled to £243,518, which is 0.9% commission on his gambling stakes, on top of the £1.46 million winnings he bagged during his 5-day stretch at the casino. Says, but Silverbond Enterprises Limited, the club's owners, denies the claim, saying they didn't care whether he gambled at the club and they don't owe him any money. London's High Court was told by Christopher Bamford, speaking for Mr. Paharic, that the gambler had frequented Mayfair Casino since 2002 and was targeted as a valuable player in 2015. He says Park Lane Club wished to attract him to gamble at the club. He claims staff treated him to coffee and dinner after approaching him on the street, encouraging him to play there by saying the casino would match or beat the best gaming terms offered by any other Mayfair club. It says, according to Mr. Paharic, this meant that the casino agreed to pay him 0.9% commission on his stakes via matching a cashback offer he was getting at other clubs, whether he won or lost. But Guy Olive Cooper, speaking on behalf of the Park Lane Club's owners, denies the casino made him the offer, or even singled him out. The barrister said it may have been that the club would do its best to be competitive and would therefore consider matching terms that he received elsewhere, but he insists that no formal offer was made. He also claims that the member of staff who approached him on the street was not particularly interested in encouraging him to play at the casino. He told Judge Gavin Mansfield QC that he was simply trying to be polite. He said casinos use a variety of incentives to attract customers. The defendant's position is simply that it never made him this matching offer. It's crazy. And there's a picture of the gent.
When I'm in charge, there'll be more heads on spikes. Did you say? I missed the bit when I read. I glanced through the story. I missed the bit. He came away having won £1.5 million.
Yes,
but is pissy because he gambled 27 million in order to win that 1.5 million.
He's busy that he believes he is entitled to another almost $250,000 on top of his 1.5 million as a commission on what he gambled.
Right. He can get directly into the River Thames. I'm sure we can crowdfund some custom concrete boots, and he can get directly into the River Thames after dishing that 1.5 million out to people who need it. I have absolutely zero sympathy for that kind of wealth. I'm getting more and more. This just goes
to show, though, how
as I get older.
Yeah, well, it's one of these things, isn't it? This story goes to show how rich people get richer is by fighting for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you or I went into somewhere and spent £27 and won a bit of, got that money back and got another £1.40 on top of it, we wouldn't be haggling over 25p.
We would not. No.
But that's effectively what he's doing.
Although I did sort of do the other way round the other day. You know, Tesco, they've got this thing at the moment where if you have a club card, you get a discounted price on a load of different things. They've got a yellow ticket. Have you seen this?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I went in there the other day and I was after a nice bottle of gin for the good lady wife. And they had a litre of, I think it was Greenalls or something, for £16. Or they had 70 centilitres, what's that, 700 ml, of Tonkerai, good quality, real nice stuff, for the same price if you had your club card. So I was like, well, do you know what? I'll get the nice gin because, it's nicer. And it's a decent price, 16 quid. That's a good price. So I went up to the counter to pay, and she scanned through all my stuff, and I went to scan my club card app, and the app had logged me out. And you need the card to log back into the app. So I had to pay £2.50 more for that bottle of gin because I couldn't be asked to say, nah, you're all right, I'll go and get another one. And I actually went up to the customer service desk and I said, is there any chance of being able to claim that £2.50 back if I come back with the receipt? And she said, well, yeah, but only if you come back with the bottle unopened in the next hour or so. And I was like, nah. So yeah, Tesco screwed me out of £2.50, and damn it, I'm taking them to the High Court.
Yeah, all right. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. That's crowdfunding.
That you need the card to log back in.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I can log into my banking app without needing any of my cards, but I can't log into my sodding club card app.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah, these days you can log into your banking app with just your face.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you need to put
Tesco
in
club card is more secure. Than
right.
Santander.
Yeah,
my shopping make any sense to me.
Yeah, my shopping habits are more secure than my spending habits.
Yeah. It would appear so.
Maybe we're underestimating. Maybe we're misestimating how important your Tesco information is.
Yeah. Well, that's why the whole reason they set club cards up, isn't it? So that track what you buy.
Oh yeah, rinse that info.
That's another thing for another day. That. So this story is about a guy who has way too much money, because if he's gambling 27 million quid, he has too much money.
Yes.
Who then made money on top of that and is arguing for even more.
Yes.
And I said it, but yeah, this is how the rich are rich and stay rich, is because they fight tooth. And I wonder how much the court fees would be for that $250,000. How long he's prepared to take it? Because if he turns around and he wins,
yeah,
he might not actually get anything.
But it's the principle.
Yeah, principles.
Yeah. Would that I could afford to have principles.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, once people start putting heads on spikes and taking all their money and distributing the wealth, then we will
throwing them in the Thames.
Absolutely.
Well, there we go. Well, that's story number 2, the rich man who got richer and was annoyed that he wasn't rich enough. Story number 3. Let me bring up the screen for this one. This is a follow-up to something we talked about a few weeks ago. Headline here from Yahoo Finance. What's that doing up there? Yeah, it's Yahoo News. Bachelor who bought pet geese as lockdown company may have to get rid of them because they're too loud. We did this story a few weeks ago about how this guy got his lockdown geese to keep him company as pets, and now he might have to get rid of them. So this says a bachelor who bought 2 pet geese company during the coronavirus lockdown has been told to get rid of them because of the noise they make. Sven Kirby has hand-reared the birds since buying them for £40 each in June. He's frequently spotted around Leeds, West Yorkshire, walking with his beloved pets, Beep Beep and Norbert, and when at home they waddle around his house wearing nappies. That's right. I remember now. The original story was all about how he took them to the pub in nappies. The 34-year-old has been left heartbroken after being told by his local council that he has to stop the birds from making too much noise following complaints from neighbours, meaning he might have to get rid of them. His experience comes after charity Birdline said there had been a large increase in people giving up pet parrots for adoption during lockdown because they're too noisy. And for those of you who are watching today, here's a photo of his back garden by the looks of it, with where the geese live. It says an abatement notice from Leeds City Council says Kirby must prevent the recurrence of the nuisance within 28 days or face a fine of up to £5,000. The prospect of losing them is heartbreaking, said the admin assistant. It almost feels as social services are taking my children away. Norbert and Beep Beep do see me as their father or mother. Mrs. Kirby says he's been approached by 2 of his neighbours about the noise the pair make, so he tried to solve the issue by moving them inside at night. But apparently neighbours are still unhappy about the noise during the day when Kirby's at work and his pets are in their pens in the garden. There's some more photos. He said they make a noise when they see someone pass or hear something. It's like a defence mechanism. It's a fairly loud honk, but it's not something which happens all the time. What my neighbours and the council fail to realise is that these birds are my pets. They're not livestock. Just because they're geese doesn't mean they don't have the same standing in my house as a cat or a dog might have in others. According to the notice he's received, the issue needs to be resolved by the December the 8th. And Kirby says that while it does not order them to get rid of them, the only way to stop them causing the noise would be to do exactly that. So there we go. There's a bit more to it, but that's absolutely the story.
I'm aghast. I'm outraged on his behalf at the notion,
harsh, isn't it?
Yeah, that he would have to get rid of Norbert and Beep Beep. And I, for one, would like to crowdfund some way of getting him to keep them. I'm all about the crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can take that £1.5 million and use it to buy Norbert and Beep Beep a soundproofed house.
Ah, yes, that's the way forward.
You see, distributing the wealth to where it's required
and linking all the stories together.
Yeah, you see, I'm not just a pretty. I'm not even a pretty face.
The question about this though is, okay, if they honk every time someone walks past, there's my neighbour's got 3 dogs. They had 4, but they've sadly lost one this year. Had one put down, but they've got 3 dogs. One of whom is particularly noisy and will bark every time we come up and down the drive. And there are the dogs, obviously, like that, who will bark like mad every time someone comes to the door. They're always making a lot of noise. That's just what some dogs do. So why is it that people don't get told to get rid of their dogs, but someone's getting told to get rid of their geese?
There used to be somebody living over the back of our house, sort of just off a bit. They had 2 or 3 kids who were really, really noisy. Can we ask them to get rid of them? I mean, we don't need to now. They've moved. There's a guy in the flats. Well, maybe there's a guy in the flats across the way that listens to his banging music real loud during the summer, and I want to go and throw him in the river.
I got woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning during the summer this year because we had our windows open because it was hot, and there was just some really loud music. And I woke up and I looked out the window. And it was coming from a van parked over the road. And there was a guy just sat in the van with his windows down with the radio on really loudly. And it was the guy who lives in the house opposite. About 1 o'clock it was.
Oh, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, which is still, beyond the time that you should just be sat.
I mean, that is outrageous.
And it was, and it was the guy who lives in the house opposite. So I was like, oh, I'm not having this. So I got my shoes on and I walked over. And I said, excuse me, mate, as I was walking across the road, and he just he jumped. I thought, oh, and the first thing he did was lean over and turn the radio down. I was like, actually, that's why I was coming out. It's like, I've just been woken up by this. So, I'm really sorry, mate. I'm really sorry. I didn't even realise the window was down. It's like, really? Because you were sat there with your fag in your hand, with your arm out the window. So, I don't know how you thought you were doing that if they thought the window was up.
It must have been terrifying
like, you live right there. Get in your house.
Get in the sea.
Music.
Get in the river.
Get in the sea. Absolutely.
Outrageous behaviour.
Noisy people are a pain. But
heads on spikes, Al. I keep saying it.
Animals making noise is kind of a natural thing, though. So a goose honking, it's not.
I mean,
I can imagine if it honks a lot, it'd be annoying if it's next door. But
you know what? I lived. I don't know whether I said this when we talked about Norbert and Beep Beep a few weeks back. I lived on a boat in London for a couple of years. And on that stretch of river, there were a flock of Canada geese. And Canada geese really are obnoxious, honking bastards. They're terrible, terrible creatures. But you know what? It was lovely. It was weirdly, it was a really lovely sound in the middle of the summer when, the sun's going down at 9:30. So the evenings are lovely and long. The river would drain out and the geese would flap along it, walk along in single file along the riverbed, honking and shouting away at each other. And it was really, really lovely. It was really odd. I'd
It's a
far
nicer,
sooner
it's a
hear
nicer
that.
sound than than
Yeah,
like someone on a scooter going down the road.
I'd far sooner hear that than the dog that's across the road from us, whose owners kick it out when they're having dinner. But is what we think, because it seems to every night for half an hour they kick it out while they're having dinner because they haven't trained it to not shout at them for food, and it just sits outside
Yeah.
the door and shouts at them. And now I'd rather have a couple of geese honking around in the garden than the sound of a bloody Jack Russell.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Also, the geese can get in the river, but they can come back again.
Yes, they can. Geese in the river. Right, so that's story number
So
3.
That's where I stand on that.
That's where I think we've settled that one then. So story number 3 is this one, which is in local news from out in the States, Florida. There's a picture of the place for those who are watching, and this is the Florida snow park that has to adjusted its hours after misestimating snow production.
Got it wrong.
And underestimating the snow production. Dade City, Florida. Florida's new snow park, Snowcat Ridge, has adjusted its hours after it misestimated, there is a when, the amount of snow it needed. Snowcat Ridge, which opened to the public on Friday, shared an update over the weekend that it was making changes to address the snow volume inside its Arctic Igloo, an indoor play area where the visitors can build snowmen. Since opening, we've had an overwhelming amount of interest in guests at the park, to the extent that we misestimated the amount of snow production which was required to allow a larger number of kids and adults to play in the snow inside the Arctic Igloo, the park wrote on Facebook. Snowcat Ridge said hours at the park would be limited so it could concentrate on snow production and ensure the Arctic Igloo remains fully operational. It was temporarily closed to visitors on Saturday and reopened the following evening, according to the park's Facebook post. The rest of the park, including the Alpine Village and its 60-foot tall, 400-foot long tubing hill, are open. For those who purchase tickets for times that are no longer available, said tickets will be refunded, blah, blah, blah. And that's effectively it. That's a short version of the story. So it's basically this park in Florida. It's a snow park, the only place in Florida that you can get real snow. It's got these, as the picture is here, these tubes, which I guess it's on fake snow here for those who are skiing, snowboarding, and what have you. And then there's an Alpine Village, where I'm guessing you can buy hot chocolate and all that kind of stuff. And then there's a massive dome, igloo, as they're calling it, with real snow. They make real snow in it for people to go in and have snowball fights and build snowmen and what have you. Except they didn't have enough snow. And so not everyone could build snowmen because there was people who just used it all up. That's the basis of what I read somewhere else.
Strikes me that in the midst of a global pandemic, it's probably not a great idea to be congregating on a place where you can gad about in snow with loads of other people.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the not having enough snow is the least of Floridians' problems right now.
Well, yes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they've been used to no snow for however long they've all lived there. So,
well, yeah,
you'd think it wouldn't be that much of an issue. But also, you'd think, and I don't know whether it's just because these people were from an area that never had snow before, they just didn't think about how much snow you need to actually play in snow. To me, that doesn't make.
Yeah, maybe
it's your core business plan here. And you've not thought that one simple thing out. We're going to have snow that people can play in. How much are you going to have? I don't know, about this much.
It's like opening up a kebab house down the road from student halls and only buying one skewer per weekend. Do you know? It's like a fundamental misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Or misestimation of what you need.
Yeah.
Would this snow park be the only place in the world where you could ski into an alligator's mouth?
Quite possibly, yeah.
There
Or maybe
you go.
They've got a snow. Maybe they've got one of those jumps where instead of just jumping over more snow, you jump over the Everglades,
alligators. Yeah,
blades and eagle, or else you'll get got by a croc, alligator, whatever.
Stroth,
whichever one of them it is.
Crikey, the ghost of Steve Irwin. The ghost of Steve. You can't see the ghost of Steve Irwin on account of him being white on a white background, but he's there. He's there.
Oh dear. Yeah, so
Oh,
this
that
is
went a
an
bit weird.
unusual. I just keep reading this at the bottom, misestimating snow production. And it's just an odd.
It's not a word.
It's not. The Misestimators. There's another band name for you.
The misestimation of Lauryn Hill was the follow-up. There's a nice 1999 hip-hop reference there for
Yeah.
all the young'uns.
Problem is they only made 4 copies, and
Yeah, they got it wrong.
yeah, they only sold 1. They misestimated. So we've had our 4 stories for the night already. So just to go through them all again, we had the helicopter pilot who found the strange monolith in a remote part of Utah, or did they put it there? The gambler who sued a casino after spending £27 million. The bachelor whose pet geese he might have to get rid of because they're too loud. And the Florida snow park that didn't make enough snow. What are your feelings on on all the stories tonight, Darren?
The gambling man can get fired into the sun. The Sun head offices actually would be, fire him directly into the Sun head offices with a. No, I shan't go any further because I'll fall foul of Ofcom. Yeah, so that's where I stand on that one. The monolith story, it strikes me as attention seeking. One way or the other, there's attention seeking there. It's not like this weird. It's not like a natural phenomenon. Do you know what I mean? It hasn't just suddenly appeared there. Somebody put it there for a reason, and we will no doubt learn that reason in due time.
Yeah. What gets me is the fact that the story goes is at pains to tell everyone, oh, it really looks like it's been put here. It hasn't just fallen out of the sky. Someone has put it here. Where normally this type of story is like, oh, this mysterious thing, where could it come from? What could it be? They've gone, it's definitely been put here by someone. We just don't know who, which is kind of a weird thing to say in the story.
I like that they're drawing attention to the fact that it's clearly been put there. Obviously it was put there. No, really? Did it just grow? Is this a natural formation? Of course it was put there.
Maybe it's a new form of plant they just discovered.
Maybe.
New titanium tree or something.
Yeah, super hardy.
You never know. Well,
and yet somehow we do.
And then the geese, I love the geese story in general. I don't like the fact that he might have to get rid of them. I don't like that aspect of the story, but I still love the fact that he's got them in the first place. That I find quite lovely.
Yeah, I'm fully on Team Geese here. I'm on his team. I can't even remember what his name is, but it doesn't matter because
Sven.
The geese are what matter here.
Sven something. Yeah, Sven Kirby, that's it.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I'm here for the geese.
And then the snow story just baffles me how someone could build a snow park and then not have enough snow. He clearly just got that wrong. So I think I'm going to pick the geese as story.
Good man.
I think that's got to be it because I just love those geese. I also love the fact that I'm going to bring this back up again. This picture of him here, where he doesn't look particularly happy, but he does look a little bit like TV's Kevin Eldon.
Just off,
which I quite like.
Yeah, just out of frame is his flask of weak lemon drink. His hobby is taking geese for a walk.
Yes, it fits.
Sven P. Quinlank, hobby goose. Oh God! Did you ever, on the subject of Kevin Eldon? Did you ever see his on his TV series that he had? I think he had one series, and they didn't dare recommission it. They did that recreation of the Sex Pistols on the Bill Grundy show. Did you ever see that? It was hang on, I can't hear you anymore.
Oh,
there we go. You're back. Yeah. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't see that.
It was really, really weird, and a fantastic little like insight into what comedy is and how comedy works. In that it was a shot for shot, word for word, completely faithful remake of the Sex Pistols appearing on the Bill Grundy show and swearing. Everybody's seen that clip. It's a very famous clip. Susie and the Banshees are in the background, but they're all Amish. Yeah, they were all Amish. Peter Serafinowicz playing Bill Grundy, just completely recounting the lines, word for word, beat for beat. Everything was you could put them side by side, and they were absolutely perfectly matched. But instead of being Sex Pistols, they were Amish. And
Oh man,
it's
I have
just
to look that up.
yeah, it's just the most beautiful piece of comedy because there's nothing inherently funny about it. That what they're saying, there are no jokes, right? It's just the fact that they're Amish, and I don't know how to come up with that, but it's such a perfect little comedy sketch.
There's a pandemic, but yeah, I wonder how it's affecting their community. Whether they even know anything's going on.
Well, yeah, fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway,
yes, he does
sidetrack
look like
again. Obviously,
TV's
he does look a bit like Kevin Elder. Yeah, which is another reason to like.
we're
that
into
story of the
bonus
week.
time now. We've done the work. We've got another 13 minutes of mindless chit chat now.
Absolutely. Well, it's
Yeah.
the bit of the show where we go, okay, well, the main, yeah, like you say, the business is out of the way, and we look at what we call it. Life is good. So we just generally try and talk about something positive, maybe that we've come across this week, or something good, something funny, like said comedy. So is there anything else that you'd like to big up this week, to use a painful phrase?
I won't lie to you that this section of the show will be a bit of a struggle for me. It's been a trying few weeks, quite frankly. In terms of media content, I read a book. I read The Amazing Morris and His Educated Rodents this week,
Okay.
which I've never read before. It's Pratchett. It's one of his youth books. I think it predates the. Have you read much Pratchett?
No, I haven't actually.
Well, it's one of the Discworld books, and it's a YA young adult novel, but it's very funny and very good. It's about this clan of rats who live next to the Wizarding University in the capital city, who eat something magical and end up being able to talk. And then there's a cat who can also talk. And they employ a stupid-looking kid to be a piper, and they go from town to town pretending to be piped out of the town and into the river. And then the kid goes back and claims the gold, and off they go to the next city to do it again, the next town to do it again. It's very silly and it's very funny.
Nice. I like that.
By all accounts, they're making it into a TV show year after next. They've announced that they're beginning work on it. So I thought I'd read the book before I'm inevitably disappointed by the show.
But do you think you'll be more disappointed in the show now that you've read the book?
Possibly. Although this one shouldn't be. I don't know whether you've seen anything about The Watch. This is all on the same subject.
Yeah, a minimal bits. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, The Watch TV show looks like it shares only its name with the series of books, Terry Pratchett books, upon which it is supposedly based. Yeah, some of the characters have the same names, and that's about where the similarities end. Now, Terry Pratchett's daughter was involved in the production of that show right at the beginning, but they basically pushed her out. They weren't interested in taking her opinions on board, and it is now, well, it looks to be a train wreck. This Amazing Morris is actually being produced by the company that her and Rob Terry's writing assistant in the latter years. They set up a production company to produce his works. So it is being made by the
Sounds
family.
more promising then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never understand it when someone buys the rights to something and then fucks with it. Why would you want it in the first place if that's not what you want to make?
I thought about this a lot when the watch stuff came up, and I think ultimately what it comes down to is a scriptwriter pitched a show to a network, and the network said, "Yes, we like it, but it's new content, it's new IP. We're not going to be able to get an audience for this because we don't want to spend the money to market it. We don't want to spend the money to develop it. However, they can buy an existing property that is similar enough that they can just merge the two to the detriment of both."
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like I felt that way a bit about after they released Cloverfield, and then they did that 10 Cloverfield Lane, which basically wasn't really a Cloverfield film until the last minute when something happened and they decided to add stuff in. And then they released that other one on Netflix, which effectively was a completely different film that they just bought the rights to and snapped the name on. Just the same setting. The people who wrote or made the original must be like, well, hang on.
Yeah.
Now someone else isn't getting our work, and it's...
For what it's worth, though, I think 10 Cloverfield Lane would have been really, really good if they hadn't given it that name. If they had given it a random name that had no relation to Cloverfield at all, and then dropped that last 10 minutes into it, drop the film as it was released, and you had that twist at the end. It's like, oh shit, this is a sequel to Cloverfield or a prequel. This is in the Cloverfield unit. This is amazing. That would have been fantastic. But to signpost it from the get-go,
that becomes the problem, because that was the whole thing about Cloverfield, was that it was a surprise. When shit happened. So to then take away that surprise by adding that label on future movies, it's kind of pointless.
And it removed a lot of
people work it out
suspense.
afterwards. Yeah, exactly.
It removed huge amount of
There's
the
nothing wrong with
suspense.
you releasing them all as like a box set later.
Yeah.
But individually, like, make it, because you don't get that anymore. You don't get surprises in cinema these days, because everything's advertised to God. I mean, so you watch a comedy movie, all of the jokes are in the trailer. In some instances. And so that's one of the reasons I quite like Cloverfield, is what it was unexpected. You didn't really know what you were getting, and then boom, something happened. So 10 Cloverfield Lane would have been like you say, would have been that much better had you not been expecting that thing.
Exactly. The one that really still pisses me off, and I've refused to watch the movie on this basis, is World War Z. I love the book. I read the book back in 2011, 2010, and I loved it. And then I discovered the audiobook, which is a full cast recording. Have you ever read the book?
I haven't. I must admit, I'm not a big reader.
Not a reader. That's fair enough. Well, the book,
at all.
Not a reader at all. No, you need hieroglyphs. No, the book
Pictures,
it's a collection of journals, essentially. There's a guy who's after the zombie event. This guy has gone around taking records from people to find out their stories, to find out what happened and how they dealt with it. And it's really beautifully presented in all these vignettes. There's I think it's about eight or nine different stories woven throughout, and none of them interact with each other. They are all separate vignettes, and some of them are tense as hell. Really, really good story. And then the audiobook, it was perfect for an audiobook, really, because they had proper big name actors voicing the characters in the book, and it was brilliant. And then somebody bought the right. Well, Brad Pitt's production company bought the rights to the movie,
Mm.
and then just made a generic zombie movie
Yeah.
and gave it that name. And the zombies
I
ran, and they don't
Yeah.
run. Zombies don't run.
And I remember hearing as well that they'd tested an ending and it had gone badly, so then they redid the ending. And I remember watching it, and I having not read the books and watched the ending and thinking that wasn't a very good ending. How bad must the ending have been that they got rid of to be happy with releasing this one?
Or how good was it, but the audiences were morons.
Well, yeah, I do wonder that sometimes.
Mm.
This is another reason I'm quite intrigued to see what happens with the Snyder cut of the Justice League, because I want to see how different it was or is. The problem, I think, is going to be that he's adding too much new stuff to it, that it's not going to be a true representation of what it would have been had he seen it through.
Also,
And I'm not expecting to love it. I'm not expecting it to be brilliant, but I'm just kind of really just intrigued just to see what's going to be different.
Director's cuts are a funny thing, though, aren't they? Sometimes they're amazing.
They are.
And sometimes they're Blade Runner. The popular opinion.
The one I quite like the Richard Donner cut of Superman and Superman.
I've not
2.
seen that.
They're pretty good.
I will say though, I really like the Zack Snyder cut of Watchmen. I believe there's 9% more swinging blue dick. Mission
I
alone.
expect so.
And then there's this really weird scene where the I think the gangsters in it, or the gang members in it, are called the Top Knots or something because of their hairstyle that they've got. And there's this really weird scene. It's almost like something out of West Side Story, where they decide to go and do over the original Night Owl's apartment, and it's really, really cheesy, and I love it. And then that movie ends up clocking in at about 3 hours 10 minutes, and it's kind of nice. You can just kind of get lost in the world. I made the mistake of introducing my wife to the Watchmen movie via the format of the director's cut. And no, she won't watch it.
That is one of the, as someone who's not a reader, I mean, I've got an unread copy of Watchmen on my shelf here.
Yeah,
that's in my. I really should probably get around to reading this at some point. But this is
it's a phenomenal book.
Pictures.
It is a phenomenal book.
Yeah,
because there's so many levels to it.
I didn't know.
There's so many levels to it. I was trying to explain it to my kid a while back. Like you've got the main story that they touch upon in the book, in the movie, but then you've got subplots as well that are presented in the book. They're presented as another comic that a character in the book is reading.
Yes. Yeah.
It's phenomenally well put together.
Oh, absolutely. And then they keep doing new stuff to it and creating spin-offs and sticking them in the main DC universe and weird stuff like that.
That spin-off TV show is legitimately brilliant.
The TV show is brilliant. I was thinking more of the comic stuff that they've done since.
I've not read any.
Fan of. And yeah, I mean, DC are known for rebooting their comics universes every now and again, and the last one turns out it was all Dr. Manhattan's doing. So that's kind of a weird way of.
And then Dr. Manhattan woke up.
He stepped out of the shower.
Yeah, that was where I was going next. Our references truly are fresh.
Absolutely. Speaking of fresh, we are fresh out of time. On the Bear Radio. So Darren and I will say goodbye to the Bear Radio. You can hear Man on the Post next with a review of all the weekend's football action, and we'll be back here at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned on the video. We might do a few more minutes, but on the radio we are done for now. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
There we go. We are
bye. Bye. Stinking radio.
We
listeners.
are now on Dead Pier Extra for however long we want to on video.
Oh dear. Is this the after hours?
We're in the middle of.
Is this like the Hollyoaks after hours?
Oh, and now of course
is this where we get to say fucking bugger?
Let me change my audio output so I can actually hear it. There we go.
You're live. You're live on the Dead Piet Society. Please don't say fuck or bugger.
I listened to, speaking of things to recommend, listened to a podcast this afternoon called Desert Island Dicks, which is a great little podcast. It's like Desert Island Discs, but people pick the worst people to be stranded with them on Desert Island, the worst food, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We had them lined up to appear at Superpod earlier this year, and unfortunately they had to pull out. But the episode that they've just
The Dicks had to
this
pull out, are
week-
you telling me?
yes, they did, unfortunately. But the episode they've released this week is with Jay Rayner,
Right.
who is brilliant and does not hold back.
No.
The C
Well, I'm
word
gonna
gets
go and look
bandied
for
about a lot in Gordon Ramsay's direction quite often.
I'm going to go and look for that one in a minute and add it to my list for tomorrow then.
Yeah, because it's a good show, that one. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's always a good listen. And
I'm kind of torn on it because like there's so much negativity in the world these days that I want to only focus on the good things. I only want to bring the good things. It really pisses me off when you see these viral tweets on Twitter. What's a band's worst album? What unpopular movie opinion do you have? It's no bollocks to that. What popular movie opinion do you have? I think Shawshank Redemption is really good, that kind of thing. But no one cares about that.
Yeah,
no one cares about that.
They don't.
And the things but then the idea of who is the shittest person you can be stuck on an island with? That's actually a brilliant idea.
I quite like
Nigel Farage, by the way.
I think he went spoilers. He gets into it a lot more. It's not giving anything away. I mean, he tweeted it himself before going on the show. That his three were one of his old school teachers, Gordon Ramsay, and Michael Gove, and I think they're pretty decent.
Yeah,
pretty decent shouts, to be fair.
Yeah,
you would not want to be stuck on an island with them.
Now imagine being stuck on an island with a sentient ventriloquist dummy. Good Lord.
Or just stuck with two people, and those people were the ventriloquist and the dummy.
Gordon Ramsay with his hand up Michael Gove's ass.
Hey, wouldn't be the first time.
Hey,
allegedly.
Controversial.
Obviously, that's a joke.
That's all right. We're not on Ofcom's rules anymore.
No, we're not, and we won't anyway. Let's be honest. They don't do internet radio.
They don't give a shit.
They don't cover our. We're not under their remit. This is how we can operate. Frankly, we probably wouldn't get away with it otherwise.
The only way we get away with it, yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't sworn on my show though. I've done 4 hours on the bear, and I mean, including the 2 dead Piettes, I've now done 6 hours on the bear. And I haven't yet sworn. Consummate professional.
I've done 6 as well because you do your Monday shows 2 hours, and I do 2 separate 1 hour shows instead.
Yeah. I'm keeping count because this is all going towards my 60,000 seconds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The more you do, you're going to get there. I mean, you were quite low on that at one point, but now you're doing all sorts.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to get it. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm doing 3 hours a week.
Yeah,
I think I might get there. I'll have to work it out.
How many is? Where's my calculator? So 3 hours is
literally an amount of seconds.
Seconds.
6 sixes are 36, so it's 3,600.
Wait, what have I just typed in there?
Hang on.
180 minutes a week. Yeah, it's 10,000 a week.
Good God! So I only have to do 6 weeks, and I'll hit my 60,000.
Yeah, there you go.
For anyone listening, assuming that's the case. For anyone listening, I set myself a goal back in January, February that my podcast is called 60,000 for reasons too boring to go into. And I set myself a goal to publish, not just make, but to publish 60,000 seconds of audio. I originally thought about doing 60,000 minutes. Yeah, how hard can that be? And then I worked it out. So actually, no, that's a lot of audio. 60,000 seconds, however, is not as much. So I thought, you know what, that's doable. If I can bang out half an hour of audio a week, I think I worked out. I can do that, and I did not. Listener, I did not do that.
You're catching up now, though.
Well, yeah, I'm making up for lost time in these last few weeks of the year.
Yeah. There we go. And you say you got these 6 weeks, and we've got 6 weeks left. So
Yeah, and I've already done 2. So yeah, no, I assuming you don't sack me.
yeah.
I
Well,
might
I'm not
actually,
going to attack you. Whether we
not
do
until
shows-
January the 1st, anyway.
whether we do shows every week through, and especially around the holidays and everything,
Well,
what
yeah.
we do then, we'll never know. So
Oh, but I've got
Yeah,
access to the
plenty.
stream.
you do. You can log in at any time.
Yeah,
to
I've
be
just got to
fair.
log in whenever I want.
Well, not any time. Actually, no. Yeah, I think there was different priorities. So when I've created accounts, people have got different priorities. So I'm priority 1, and I think you are as well. And then some of the guys I don't know are like priority 4 or 5.
Yeah,
So technically, you could just log in when they're on and just take over the show. But
I might
know
do
you
that.
won't do that.
Audio willy waving.
Some announcements as well. I might give you an exclusive here on the Dead Pit Society. Speaking of the bear, as we are, for those who are watching and don't know what we're talking about.
This might have been handy actually on the bear some 10 minutes ago.
No, it's just an exclusive for the extra. The Bear is an internet radio station that I started last week, and we play podcasts on there. Like this podcast goes out on it. Did until 9 o'clock. We just stopped on there. We play other podcasts, other live shows, music shows that Darren does. That I do a country show. Do all sorts of bits and bobs. And we signed up another couple of people last week to do different things, which I announced. And then this week got confirmed start date for somebody new who will be doing a show 4 nights a week.
Ooh.
6 till 7, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Is it the ghost of John Peel?
He's not the ghost of John Peel.
Maybe next year.
Unfortunately. Her name is Pfizer, and she will do a show called Pop Vinyl, where she's going to be playing pop and indie music, but also talking the latest entertainment news as well, mixed in. So it's an almost daily show.
Looking forward to
our first
that one, actually.
So that should be a good one.
I was listening to your country show the other day, which is most unlike me because country music, I'm lost by it. But I listened to your show and the links were very good.
Oh, well, thank you. I managed to crash a lyric only twice, I think. Once in that one and once in my other show. I think I'm trying to not do it. And I think I actually know twice in my other show because I got limited on time and I thought I need a shortish song to fill the gap because I don't want to just talk for 2.5 minutes. So if I can find a song that's about 2.5 minutes, that'll be grand. And I thought, well, I won't play song 2 by Blur because I'd played that on the launch party night. I needed the same. Got 2 minutes to fill. Blur. There we go. That'll do. Nice, easy 2 minutes. I'm not just going to keep going to that song every time. And then I found a song by Band of Horses, I think it was, and it's about 2.5 minutes. No, actually, no, it was Death Cab. Hit play, ready to say something over the intro, and forgot that the lyric starts instantly. I was like, oh wait, no, stop. No, I want to say what I'm going to say. Restart the song.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, in fairness, you did at least fade the songs up. I failed to fade up at least 2 songs last night.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But the advantage of my system is it's in the opposite way. As soon as I open my mic, it automatically fades the music. So then, as long as I turn my mic off,
yeah, I need.
I have to remember.
I can actually do that. I think with the app I've got that I can adjust the volume knobs. I think I can set that with the MIDI, but it's all a bit of a faff.
Yeah, it's a faff. It's always a faff doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I tried very hard to get Ian, Dr. Squeeze, set up on his before his last show last week, and then he asked me a question that maybe that you could answer. It's like, oh, you had someone who set everything up on an iPad. Do you think I could do that? And I was like, not what you want to do, Ian. Because he wants to get someone on via Skype as well, doing everything that you do. I think it's just too much.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it through iPad. The audio in out isn't there.
I found a way of working it on my system with the hardware that I've got work, so I can get people on via this kind of method or via Skype or whatever. So in future, I might get guests on or things on my show that way to have multiple
Yeah.
people on, which might be fun. Radio Tech Talk here on
Yay.
Society.
Okay, do you want to hear
What
about?
you
Do
tune
you
in
want,
for?
do you want to hear some tech talk? Right.
Go
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what my setup currently is right
Go
now?
on.
You'd think it would be simple, right? But do you remember last week when I said to you, "Can you hear my Mac fan?" And you were like, "Yeah, I can hear it, but it's fine." It bothered me. It bothers me
Okay.
immensely. That Mac, it whirs like a jet fighter taking off. So I currently have my MacBook is on the floor in my kitchen with a USB lead, really long USB extension coming out into a hub that's on my table. My iPad is plugged into that hub, and I'm mirroring the screen from my Mac to my iPad, and I've got my phone as my camera that's wirelessly connected to my Mac. And then my
Nice.
microphone is plugged into the hub as well. So I'm watching you on my iPad screen that's mirroring my Mac that's sat on the floor in the kitchen because that fan is driving me mad. I even took it out this evening at 10:07. I was sat here with some tiny screwdrivers taking my MacBook apart so that I could clean out the fan. Didn't
man.
make any difference.
That's a
So
good
anyway,
one.
yeah.
I need to follow up. Speaking of MacBooks, you've just reminded me I need to phone the repairman tomorrow and see how he's getting on because ours died again last week.
Rude.
So the second time. in
Mine
couple
has
of
a
months.
definite battery bulge, so I think her time is near.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I got this new one. I'm on now, not a Mac, but it does the job.
I thought it sounded a bit rough.
Yeah. The weird thing is because Kitty used the Mac for work, and when it died on a Tuesday night, and she works Wednesday to Friday. So it's like,
that's a
no,
pain.
that's for the following morning. She said, "Can I use your new laptop?" And I was like, "Yeah, go on then," because I quite enjoy having it on while I'm
Yeah,
bear and work and keep flicking back and forth. I was like, "Yeah, go on then." So she downloaded Microsoft Teams and some remote desktop software that she uses. And it turns out that her remote desktop was not compatible with my laptop. It just would not connect.
rude.
So she could not get on for work. So she had to phone her boss and they delivered a new Mac, somebody else's MacBook to her. So she hates it because it's just, she hated my computer because she just couldn't get on with the keys and the trackpad. She didn't enjoy it. But the screen is quite big. It's a 17-inch screen. Whereas now she's on a 13-inch MacBook. It's just like, it feels much nicer, but it's tiny.
Yeah, mine's a 13-inch. So is my MacBook. Way. Sorry.
There we
See,
go.
it's Dead Piet After Hours.
It's the additional
nothing
video
but-
time.
Nothing but dick jokes and radio chat. Truly, we're filling that niche.
Oh yeah. I mean, someone's interested.
There must be. There's two people watching
there's
this.
two
I'm
people.
guessing it's you and me, but
No, I haven't. I genuinely haven't got one open, so it can't be.
all
me.
right. Well, no, neither do I. I'm just assuming it's the. I just have the thing open.
Yeah. Yeah, so I assume that's not us.
Yeah.
So hello to you. Say hello in the comments, anyone who is watching, so that we know that you're a real person.
Yeah, and we can apologise to you. Yeah, with your actual name.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been emotional, but I should probably
It
go
has.
to bed because
Likewise.
I'm really tired.
Yeah. You had a late night last night and an early morning, no doubt.
I have a late night every bloody night.
Yeah, sames.
Anyway, it's been wonderful.
It has indeed. Thank you very much, my friend. We will be back next Tuesday at 8. Darren will be back next Monday at 10 on the radio.
Yes. Next week is about winter,
Oh, winter. Yes, I
not
saw that.
Christmas. Winter.
How do you feel about what was the song I've popped into my head that had winter in? I think it's a David Essex song. It's always on Christmas albums, but it's not really about Christmas. It's, Winter's Day. Is it Winter's Day?
Yeah.
If
See,
you
if it's
listen
on
to lyrics,
Christmas
it's
albums,
not-
it's therefore a Christmas song.
Yeah, but then so's Stay Another Day by East 17.
That's
and that
not a
ain't
Christmas song. That's just a pop song with sleigh bells on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll die on that hill.
Power of Love was on one of my Christmas albums as well. The
Which one?
Frankie goes to Hollywood.
I say, as long as it's not the Jennifer Rush one. The power of love.
I don't know,
No,
yeah.
the Frankie Goes to Hollywood one is weird because there's nothing in the song Nothing at all that's Christmas. There's no
Yeah.
sleigh bells on it. There's nothing in the lyrical content about Christmas.
No.
But because they filmed it, the video, as like a nativity scene, it's therefore a Christmas song.
Right, that's what it is it?
Bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
I don't remember seeing it, so
Yeah.
I just assumed that maybe it came out at Christmas, or was a Christmas number one, and therefore it's always
Yeah.
on. Because that's
But then I
like
suppose,
E17, I suppose.
yeah, I suppose technically that Gary Jules cover of Mad World is a Christmas song because it was a
Yeah.
Christmas number one that year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then so is Rage Against the Machine.
Good shout. Good shout. I want to hear that all over Radio 1, along with their censored versions of the Pogues.
I decided that I was not going to add any Christmas songs to the rotation on the Bear. But if individual shows want to play Christmas songs, they can play Christmas songs. I'm not
Ken
gonna stop
Bruce
them.
has the right attitude to it. The week before Christmas, he plays Christmas songs.
Hmm.
I walked into the other workshop at work yesterday, this morning, and I heard Band Aid. It's the 24th of fucking November, and I heard Band Aid.
This year, I mean, Christmas has come earlier and earlier every year generally, but after the shit show that it's been this year, people seem to have gone even earlier. I mean, I can't talk. I mean, I don't know if you can see the box right there. That's our Christmas tree in the box right there.
Oh dear,
Ready.
this weekend's going to be a busy one for you then.
No, it's not going up this weekend. It's going up the weekend after. First weekend of
December the 23rd.
First weekend of December. We're going to have 2 trees this year. We're going to go crazy.
Very fancy.
We're going to have a real tree in the front room, and then this fake one that we've had in the loft for years, we're going to put up in the dining room.
We'll have you in the river, you fancy man.
Seeing as we've got enough room and, not going to have many people in the house. I thought, screw it.
Well,
We're gonna go all
that
out
is a
this year.
bonus. That is a bonus of this year.
Yeah, so that'll be fun to get.
Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, picking them up off the floor every time Hunter rips them off the tree. So we will leave it there for this week. Thank you very much to everyone
Lovely
for watching,
stuff.
for listening, and everything else. We will see you again soon.
Bye-bye.